All right, here we go. Blast off. So if you don't know who I am or what I do or why I create content for amazing coaches like yourself, my name is Rachel Feldman. You can check out really my backstory and what I'm all about and what I believe in, my core values, and the vision that I really have for change in this world of dysbiosis. I was a coach just like you. I did not have any money to do Facebook ads. I didn't have a website. I didn't understand what a landing page was, what email marketing was. I was like many of you, where I just really thought that my coaching abilities and my understanding of health and what needed to change was going to be enough. I didn't realize that I needed to understand digital marketing, even for my goal, which was never groups and not to be online. It was to work with people one-on-one. I realized pretty fast that if I didn't use the power of the internet, how would people find me? So first off, we are going to be talking about how do you choose your signature freebie, but we're also going to talk about why is using the power of the internet a really smart choice and decision, and one that got me from being just working locally to working with clients all over the world, in Israel, Dubai, Switzerland, France, all across the United States, kids in the islands who were going to school. It is because I used the power of the internet to get seen, get known, build trust, and to help my ideal client identify with me. A big part that we have really abandoned in this current digital market is that we're not seeing what list builders and funnels are all about. They're about what? Somebody connecting with you, somebody who's searching for the solution to a problem where they're really confused about. So, step number one, before we even get into what is my signature freebie, we need to ask ourselves a few questions. This is also a massive disconnect that I'm seeing in the industry, especially for myself, who really was on the ground with offline, online, using summits, podcasts weren't really crazy back then, but still towards the end of my health and wellness coaching, I was on podcasts. Plus, how do you really use social media to get people to trust you, to get people to identify with you? Because if we're really talking about what is social media about, so it's not just, oh my God, my Instagram profile is not working, or, oh man, nobody's converting, or people aren't finding me. Yes. Nobody just lands on your site. Nobody just clicks, because we all know by giving somebody our email, they're going to market to us. That is as sacred as somebody telling you the ins and outs of their relationship, or it's as sacred as a wedding list. It's somebody trusting you with their email. Why do we click? Why do we say, I want to sign up for this? We sign up because that person is consistently, it's a big word, consistently shown up and have helped us to connect the dots to our concern, our problem, our motivating reason for wanting to get healthy, wanting to make a change. If you really step back and depersonalize from your website, from the list builders, from your program, your course, whatever you are either promoting as a free opportunity or a paid. If you start to say, would I sign up for this? Does this really solve a problem? And if it does solve a problem, am I being clear enough in my messaging? Am I being clear enough to my ideal client that's what? Scrolling in a world of information. Am I helping them to really understand and identify with me, understand that they want to work with me because it's how I see the world. It's how I connect these problems to my core solution. So when you are looking at your website, and if you don't have one, totally okay. This is a strategy that has to be used no matter how much you're making, no matter if you're leveraging, up leveling, it's still the same. Meaning, we're going to start here first. I want you to ask yourself this question and write it down or post it under this video wherever you're watching it. Why did you want to become a coach? What problems do you see in the world? What missing information is not being spoken about by many people? And so people in this world continue to what? Listen to the same BS, understand the same myth that one size fits all of these things. What are your core beliefs? And that goes back to that first question. Why did you start coaching? And the answer, guys, is not, I want people to be healthy. Many of you have gotten into this coaching industry like myself. It was my health issues. And a big why for me was I wish at every pivotal time in my life, every time that I wish I could go back and say, Mom, I know that I just got told that I have these gut issues and I'm 14 and I've got, pre-Barrett's esophagus. Why don't we look at a probiotic and not just Prilosec, which had just come out at that time and was $3 a pill, not covered by insurance. Mom, yes, I know I have asthma. I've got all these food allergies. Maybe it's good if we don't continue to go to, and I had great doctors, great universities, great everything. This isn't a diss on the people that have helped me. It's I wish this whole picture was talked about. Okay, Mom, it was great that we did testing. Maybe we should also look at an elimination diet and also look at probiotic rotation. Maybe because there's EBV, Epstein-Barr virus, in our family that's run rampant for years, it would behoove us, it would be a good idea to look at maybe a DNA stool test. Fast forward to all the different diagnoses and all the problems from heavy metals to adrenal issues, Clostridia, pylori, a lot of different issues that start to affect me because what? Once there is a dysbiosis or toxins that get built, the body just slowly starts to break down. Not for everyone, but I would say still the majority of the world, which I see, and I've been so blessed to teach thousands of people in all different ways, from moms groups to teaching and doing educational workshops to working with people at gyms. The majority of people don't think that they have a problem. The majority of people think that it's okay, that, no, well, it makes sense. Of course your thyroid is underactive. It's just your age. Well, of course you're having, sleep issues. Everyone has them. Of course, you've gained, that 8-pound tire and, your hair's falling out low. Of course, well, you're in the beginning stages of perimenopause. Well, of course your child has, some attention issues. That's just standard for kids these days. No, that's not how I operate. We always have a choice. We always have to show people that no, it's not just okay. That to me is list building. List building is not just, oh my God, here's this freebie. Why is it not converting? People only trust and hire you when they feel that you have connected these dots, these parts in their life where they're saying, Dr. Oz just was talking about this probiotic. Should I be on this? I just read the Clean Eating magazine the other day. And blah, blah, blah was talking about the ketogenic diet. I've heard all this XYZ. Or they were talking about Whole30. Have you heard of it? Is it just clean eating? Can I do that? Well, Whole30 is this approach and it's let me talk about it. I was just looking at this the other day and they were talking about CBD oil. What do you think? Where I was told that I should be, taking magnesium. Do you take magnesium? It's all of these questions that people ask. And the thing is, if we don't step back even before we choose our freebies, and I'm going to get to that, we have to sit and actually write down, what are the common problems that I see in the world? And then ask ourselves the next question, which is, with all of these problems, what do I want to be known for? What is going to be this connecting dot for everyone? So I'm going to just give gut as an example, because I can only speak from my experience. I've helped many coaches to build their hormone business, sugar, weight loss, mindset, emotional eating, paleo, keto. Doesn't really matter. The same, no matter what niche it is, it's the same business process. If, you know, and so let's just even say, for me, I really do believe, and the reason I became a coach is I felt that in this world of misinformation, overinformation, and a one-size-fits-all approach, no wonder I fell through the system. And in a world where, you know, there is a lot of information, there's still what? Confusion, overwhelm, fear, all these things that make us not take action. So when many of you say, well, I'm not going to talk about that. I mean, everyone does, but you have to say, I'm going to talk about it because I really believe that I am the number one resource for this to help my clients get to this point. You don't have to know everything, but what you do know and what's coming out of your mouth has to make sense for that ideal client to actually stop in their busy day and say, wow, this person has this challenge. I'm going to join this challenge because I have listened, watched, followed, downloaded information from this person, or I got tagged on Facebook, or this person mentioned this person in their IG story, or I happen to be Googling, which is going to bring us to our second point, and I found this person. So the question always is, what do you want to be known for, and how does it relate to all these problems? So for me, I really believe that gut health, gut and toxins are a huge part of the dysbiosis, no matter what it is. I'm not a hormone specialist. I'm not one of those people that even get into the science part of detox. I see the things how I see them. And one of the things that I always realized, because people would say it to me, is, wow, Rach, like, you make things so easy and relatable. You're not so black and white, because I realize in the human behaviors, which is sales, list building, communication, messaging, conversion. I realized that people were really, they have all this information, all these books. I can pull out every book I have, from Anne Louise Gittleman to Paul Pitchford to John Douillard to Dr. Morris to Medical Medium, Chris Kressler. We have so much information. So why are we struggling? Why is it hard to find people like Donna Gates? Why is it hard to understand what we feel is, well, everyone knows. They do, but so much information. They're looking for a coach, as my mentor says, Dr. Morris. They're looking for somebody to be the way shower, help to pull the BS back, help to find what is the best, CBD oil. What's your favorite essential oil? I'm with doTERRA, but my clients, my people who follow me always would know that I would bring them the best. I would uncover some of the things that I felt was just BS, and I would share it with people. And that I always had these little tricks up my sleeve, and these ways that I've handled life with all of life's chaos, with all of life's misunderstandings, with all of this stuff. How did I get through my day in this human world, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and metaphysically? How did I let go of old stories? How did I, for a person who is my person, my ideal client, an overthinker, a doubter, a worrier, a gut autoimmune person, how can I communicate with them? Because I'm not worried about not communicating with my person if I don't show up as myself and don't share how I really view the world, how's somebody going to what? Trust me, identify with me, or say, wow, Rachel just posted this post and it really touched me. I'm going to send her a personal message. That is the power of freebies. And really, freebies are your voice being spoken, messaging to that person. So getting back to the number 2 part, let's talk about why you want freebies. And for those of you who are working offline, what is a freebie for you? Let's just break this down before we get into how do you choose it. If you're working offline, my strategy was always to have 3 signature PowerPoints, presentations that I could go and show with my computer a local health food store for free talks. A local, I did, it's kind of like a Soul Cycle, but it's called Flywheel here. It's a cycling place, pitched to them. Health, juice places, doctor's office, chiropractor, yoga, and I don't even do yoga, gyms, boxing, MMA fighter, kids, schools, Montessori's, PTAs. I just named 20 places, I believe. Coffee shops, anywhere that would let me talk and really connect these dots. And from those workshops, if it was, of course, a workshop where everyone signed up on a list, I would send them a gift. That gift is a freebie. You could also, if you're doing like something like the 5-day toxin-free challenge or the 5-day no sugar challenge or any of our workshops, or if you have any of our programs and they come with workshops, that same material, which is really a free offer, or if you have handouts in your program, you can even give that as a freebie. Guys, come to this. I'm going to be arming you with the best handouts and strategies you need to get off sugar. Plus, I'm going to give everyone who attends for free my 5-day no sugar challenge. All you have to do is sign up here, and then I'm going to personally email you that challenge plus a video from me so you can really understand how easy this is to navigate, how much sugar is in some of these great foods that we think are healthy, some of these great drinks from Starbucks, so that you can really demystify how easy it is to get off sugar once you actually ditch and you're empowered to really know what you're looking for, because that's how you're going to get off diet. That's how you're going to stop, living this stress and this, eat that world. It's very simple. That same challenge can, of course, be a video series, a signature video series on the front of your website. Get this free no sugar course. Learn how to get off sugar. 5 videos, 5 days. By the end of this, you will XYZ. It's a no-brainer because it makes sense that somebody's opting in, that you're going to lead them to either a do-it-yourself low-cost opportunity like 10-day sugar detox, or you're going to get them on the phone for a one-on-one session to bring them into your one-on-one. And if they can't afford you, you're going to take them to the 10-day sugar detox. If they graduate and they complete that, they're like, hey, for only, $37, $47. Guys, price is just relative. Price is about strategy. So if you do have price questions, pop them under. But remember, price is about the end number of what? How many people are you seeing one-on-one? Are you converting? How, all these different variables. Would say on average, yes, 10-day, 47, 57. Leading that person to a $47 experience and then upselling them to either working with you in your one-on-one once you have built trust. When you start looking at your list building strategies, no matter what you're doing, because truth is, whether you do a video or whether you do a workshop or a webinar or a challenge, whether it's evergreen, whether it's a one-time, it's all the same strategy. It's really playing out. If this person sees my challenge, What problems do they have? Where am I leading them? Is it to a one-on-one? If they can't afford me, a do-it-yourself. Once they've completed the do-it-yourself, you're going to what? Email them day one. Email them in the middle. Email them at the end. Engaging. People aren't going to what? Hire us for the next step if we aren't engaging, treating that person with love, looking at one person as not just money in the bank, but this is one person who can change their life if I truly just keep meeting them, supporting them. Maybe that person will only ever do it yourself, but they will come back to you 2 years later when something has happened because you did take them from 0 to 1 and they fell off. And the truth is, human nature is what? We fall off if we're not held accountable. We don't make those decisions. We don't make those changes if what? We're not either up against the wall. Most of your clients are not you. Let's take Dave Asprey, for example. That's the biohacker. That's the person like a you and me who's like, oh my God, he just came out with a new book on all these hacks for anti-aging and sleep and energy. Most of our clients are not like that. Or they have to travel down our path to get to the end product, to get to the end step. But at the infancy is our list building. So let's just drill down this. I just want to make sure that I'm good on time. Okay, perfect. So gut and toxins is what I'm known for. Why do we want to have social media in different places? Because Google, yes, all free, has a great relationship with your Facebook business page. It's got a great relationship with Pinterest. It's a search engine. So the thing is, in the beginning infancy, or if you're not converting and you've not gotten to that rinse and repeat stage where you know what works, so you're optimizing on that and taking it to these different funnels based on different people's issues, then you're at that basic infancy building stage, building your house. You're building a house with a healthy foundation. So it doesn't get ruined by a hurricane or tornado. You're building a strong foundation. So in that strong foundation, it is a testing phase. And that's what nobody talks to you about. The reason that I built my list to 7,500 organically with no paid ads ever, just like my client who has built, she does anywhere from 30,000 launches to 200 with no Facebook ads because she's built that authority because people look at her as the resource to come to because she shares and she shows up consistently, taking the same message and building these blogs. So people go, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. And her mentor, yes, has all these books, but it's what? Her demystifying and helping people to extract the information. The biggest disconnect that we often think as coaches is we make these assumptions. And yes, marketing to a degree is an assumption, but we all know that word, make an ass out of you and me. Because when we make too many assumptions, like, well, everyone knows this, we miss all these what? Opportunities to be looked at as an influencer and the person to go to. We start talking too high level, but yet we're attracting a person in what I call the stages 1, 2, and 3, where it's not like anything's going wrong, like in 4, 5, and 6 level of problems. It's that they just feel off. Periods are not that great. Periods are a little longer. They're not losing weight. Hair is falling out. They feel tired. Bags, rashes, maybe a little eczema down there, for the guys. Fungus on toenails, athlete's foot, just eats and feels like bloated. All these things are what I call 1, 2, and 3 level problems. Maybe they are getting sick a lot, but they don't even understand that's an immune issue. So remember, when you're thinking about your signature freebie, that's the one that you've tested, then you make it proven. And most often, if you're just like, oh, well, everything has to be gut. I'm going to show you right now. And you're going to do this too. And this is exactly what we do in our membership, but on steroids. So if you were like, it's really interesting. And remember, this takes practice. I do encourage you to just join the membership. because this is everything we talk about. Because if you can't get people to convert, and that's why I always say, really test it out. You may have a dream to be completely online. I did, but I also wanted to consistently make money. And I knew that until I had the amount of people that I needed on my list, and until I built that trust, really got clear on my signature system, not just, oh, it's this program. It's like, what was my system? I'm going to talk about that just in a second. Because the word signature is when it's proven. It's not just, oh, well, I want to create this business. It's what levels, stages do I need to be marketing to people? Because when you really get into the buyer avatar, that's where you start to understand all these other amazing opportunities that you can make, and they work because people trust you. So if I just stay on gut and toxins, which I do believe, I believe that environment, genes load the gun and environment pulls the trigger. And I do believe that all of these issues are related to your toxin load, are related to your gut health, whether you have a predisposition from family or it's genetics or it's epigenetics, doesn't matter, because that is more of your signature approach. What matters is these topics, and that you're using done for you content to save you time, so you can be a content machine. Because truth is, you could have somebody, and I will get into this next time on client avatar. You could have a person, 3, 4, or 10 people with all the same problem, but they identify with you in different ways. They identify because one could be a stay-at-home mom. She's got a certain things in her day. They're completely different from a woman who's like me, maybe worked corporate and always sales and always going. And she also has different needs, and she also has different desires of how the content is provided to her, and also based on how she processes it. So remember, guys, so often you're sold this BS lie, like it's just this Facebook ad, it's just this, do this, here's this roadmap, here's this blueprint. They're all great to extract for you information, but most often what just works for one person doesn't work for everyone, because it's based on the people you attract. That's the sweet spot. That's the magic. And once you realize that, the game changes. So gut and toxins. But what I realized pretty early on was nobody knew what gut was. And I was like, but wait, all this information about gut. Nope, they didn't. So big mistake number one that I make was making an assumption that people knew this, because I felt like, well, can't people just Google? They do, but they stay in confusion, which is why people always would be like, oh my God, Rachel's like that gut girl. She's always talking about all these different things that affect the gut, these different solutions, these different strategies. It's how I used my content with the messaging that built the trust. And that's why I had clients that I saw for years, people who were with me for years. That's going to be number 3 video where we really drill into that. But for right now, I would be ridiculous, and this is what I realized, to not talk about weight loss, one of my bubbles. Because a lot of people who have autoimmune and gut, or gut issues, or yeast, or candida, which was like, thought she was going to be my best friend for my whole life, don't realize that that fungus is leading to unexplained weight gain. Same thing as unexplained weight loss. And so I talked about that a lot. I also talked about energy, because for me with adrenal would be a higher level message, but I had to teach first about like energy and what depletes your energy emotionally, physically, spiritually, foods. I had to educate. So that was one that I always related. Also like skin issues, especially also because my husband has psoriasis, and that's not just, it's like an autoimmune. It's not just like, bye-bye. It's a dance. It's a dance to learn how our body processes, how our body changes, all these really cool things of skin and gut and toxins and environmental toxins and stress, which I would look at stress and add that. I would also talk about like healthy gut recipes. I would also talk about cleaning your home and going toxin free. And I would bring in essential oils and all these, like my favorite products, because in a world of what information, people are really looking for you to be like, guys, I have, which is why you'll laugh when you see this, because I know many of you are like this. I'll be like, hey, which is what I always do. Hey guys, you know, these days, after testing 5 different barley grasses, this is my favorite. Really go through and say like, why is your favorite XYZ? And how is this really helping? Because it's somebody who's really looking in this world of busyness to look at you like, wow, that person's always going to just drill it down for me. I would be ridiculous not to have something on food allergies, a checklist, even going gluten-free, all the things that people would ask me. Like, hey, what are the best resources? My daughter's friend, she was diagnosed with celiac like 3 years ago. And the mom came to me and she was like, I know I always think that what you talk about is crazy, but we're having some issues. And I said, no problem. Let me send you all the handouts on going gluten-free. And it's really easy. And after, you know, years of doing this, before gluten-free bakery stuff and breads were around, I had to make stuff. These are my best recipes. Also, this is the best cupcake mix bread. I mean, I really went through everything that's our life, the best pastas, and that would have been the same thing I would have done, and the same thing I did do in my business. I would also talk about like toxin. I have some over there, like bone broth, kombucha, gut supporting foods. I would also, of course, have a juice cleanse. Not all of these are my signature. These are topics in testing. Also, I detox waters. I also had food allergies and traveling. These were just topics, testing topics. I mean, the list goes on. Even if we talk about, I also had a Bristol poop. I had a Bristol poop download with a video. That video series, whenever I talk about poop, because it's such an essential thing and it's so taboo. I also, and this became signature, is I had a cultured food recipe guide. And that became actually a $150 90-minute session where I would come over and make water kefir. And I used to make goat milk kefir for my clients and cultured foods and all this stuff. That became a huge thing. I realized people really wanted that. And that also turned into money. And it was really fun, you know, to make kombucha and to really show people that they can truly, with the power of food, take back their power. And so I did many of these, whether it was online or offline. And as I started to realize what was my signature, it still went back to what are the things that really define me? And detox was a huge thing. So I had detox smoothies, I did detox juice guide, and then I made a whole bundle where it was like the modern person's guide to detoxing and thriving in this world of toxins. Because I realized there wasn't just this one freebie. I wanted to be able to take people through like a few days. I also wanted somebody to want to open up that next email. Because I know when I get emails and it's just the same, I'm like, can you just take me to another, like give me something special. Like talking to me about sugar, but tell me about what you do. If this was me, and I don't tell people to go on supplements, but I would have said, this is my favorite like trick. I do use, you know, berberine and chromium, and I found that I had so many nutrient deficiencies. Speak to your doctor about that. Next day could be even information about vitamin D levels or gut. I would infuse my special sauce and my superpowers and the things that I've struggled through, or the things that I've noticed, or the things I want different in the world, and infuse that. That to me is a high converting. Where people often make the mistake is they're like, I don't know why they're not signing up. But you haven't told this mini story. It's in the story that has somebody connect. It's in the story where like, oh my God, you know, I saw this girl, Rachel, talking about stress and loose stools, and how she always, before she got stressed, would just run to the bathroom 15, 20 times. It's a very different message than IBS. It's a very different message than, when I had ulcerative colitis and got diagnosed. They're all related, but the power of choosing a signature freebie or freebies or different formats, video series, webinar, teaching webinar series, challenges, checklists. We're all being taught in business this broken system of doing business when really it can be really basic, because at the end of the day, in a world now where there's lots of information, you have to stand out, and it's in the problem solving. And for those of you who are like, what is she talking about? Go to my podcast and listen to Megan Rand. Megan Rand talked exactly about how she started using her Instagram platform as a way to teach and educate and to show people on a daily basis, like, hey, this is the drink I'm drinking because this is in week 2 of my period. This is a drink I'm drinking because I had mold and these toxins affected my hormones. But what? Everything with Megan Rand always comes back to hormones. You can still talk mood and food and emotional eating and all these, but your core fundamental belief, and please guys, don't say you work with every niche. The truth is we all work a crossover of every niche, but at the end of the day, I guarantee each one of you believe that if you don't repair X, you won't ever be healthy. If you don't learn how to eat clean, you will never be healthy. But guys, eat clean means nothing. My version of eating clean may be different from yours. Hence the person who's been eating processed foods and everything. They think eating clean is, they're just not eating like from McDonald's. You have to really define, and that's the part no one talks about in school, is this is the actual school. This is the struggle. This is the part where you're really learning, like, how do I communicate what I've taken years to learn, years of studying, years of researching, years. That's what makes you pivotal. It's not just like, I have all these likes because a lot of people have all these likes, but they don't convert. The conversion happens because you have figured out and tested these different topics, whether it's a live, it's a blog, it's a workshop, and then you decide your signature one based on what gets the most engagement. If you, of course, are starting brand new and you're like, I need to have something, of course you do, but it doesn't even need to be an automation. You can have a bunch of freebies and say, guys, today, or even in a post, today I was really thinking about so much misinformation on the gut microbiome and sleep or mood or hormones or whatever the topic is. And I realize that so many of these complex strategies for gut health really can be simplified when we just do A, B, and C. It also can be really simplified and we can get to a place of ultimate health when we do ABC. I just put together this amazing gut health guide. And if you're interested about it, these are the areas that were a hot mess in my life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I remember when my friend came to me and said, I know that you do. I know that you talk about gut a lot. I just have this major, skin issue, and you keep talking about skin and gut. No problem. And so I said to my friend, let me create this guide for you. And so what I'm doing, because my vision for this world is we all have that information at our fingertips. You don't even need to sign up. Send me a DM. That would be Instagram. Send me a PM. That's Facebook. Hey, hit reply on this email if this is you. Where are you struggling with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? I'm available. Hit me up. You should not suffer. The same thing as in a blog. Hey, shoot me this email. Put your email right there. The great thing about list building is you can list build in all these different ways. Somebody can email you. At least you've gotten them into what? A conversation, the connection, leading to the conversion. It's when we have these conversations, and that's why, look, I love funnels. Woo! But I also don't think a funnel replaces human contact. I want you to think about the people that you have hired, bought from in your life. How were they showing up? When you first saw them, how did you identify with them and why? Why did you pick that person over somebody else? what in the way that they showed up in their list building, because a blog post is list building, even if you don't have a call to action per se, but you should. Everything is list building the moment you open your mouth. And so when you think about choosing your signature freebie, if you're in the infancy, you sit there and say, what do I want to be known for? How can this really help somebody's life? And how am I connecting it back to what I really believe? If sugar's at the root of all evil, if you want to talk about, mindset and weight, it's like relate it back. Hey guys, I've got this, these gut health recipes, because I realized so many of my clients, because, I'm a mindset coach, really struggle with their mood. And I wanted to help connect the dots for those of you who feel like it's just your fault. It's not. There's a solution. Message me. So guys, I'm going to peace out. This was a little longer than I anticipated, but this topic is huge. And that's why in our membership, there's like everything is on this, because truth is, if you don't know how to say what you do, you're always going to flop in a workshop. It's not to say that you hold on to perfection and wait for the perfect moment. You have to do to be able to what? Know how people are processing the information. The very conversations that you have with people is your content. So choosing a list builder is one thing. And there are people that, of course, have their signature, but they also have these other ones that are on what I call the back end, or that are floating around in the world of social media, and people find them because they're searching. They're looking for an answer. They're looking for tips on Pinterest. They're looking for recipes. They're looking on YouTube, because I always go to YouTube to find something. You just don't know where people are searching. Doesn't mean you exhaust yourself. And for those of you who you feel like online, it's not working, I really encourage you. I can't say this clear enough, that you have to go offline, meet people, talk to people, get comfortable, get confident, get comfortable with speaking. And I will end with this. Look at your freebies. Ask yourself, would you sign up for them? Do they solve a problem that you had? Are you just putting out more noise? Or are you taking what is the same content that everyone could be, but you're infusing your views on the world and how this is going to change? Ideal client number one, ideal client number two, and their different personalities and what they need, versus, the mom who's looking for her children, versus the woman who's really concerned about her husband because doctor said he's high cholesterol. There's all these different people in the world, and nobody's going to just process the way you have the information. The true list building and the magic in this business is learning how to say the same thing in about 15 different ways. And if you're confused on that, go to one of my favorite people, Anthony Williams from Medical Medium, and go listen to the 30 different SoundClouds he has on the same topic. Celery juice and autoimmune, celery juice and weight, celery juice and immune, celery juice and this. And you sit there and you're like, but he's saying the same thing, but he's not. He's saying the same thing on his core fundamental belief and relating it to every different topic. So please, before you flush money down the toilet, Facebook ads are great when they work. Otherwise, you're going to get hit with about a $13 conversion or 15. I want you to step back, and I want you to actually say, what do I need to be talking about? What do I need to say? Who is this for? How's it going to fix their life? Why would they want to download this? Come to a webinar, join this, take time out of their precious life, which they already don't have time to, what? Either work with you, join a free thing, come to a low paid, wherever you're leading them. That will always work when this initial stuff is set and it's really super clear. So if you are struggling in your business and you need to figure out what freebies, what programs, please reach out. I, will always take time for somebody to know what is the right content to, buy from us. And if you're struggling, stay in the struggle. Don't pivot to another niche just because you think it's going to work. Can't tell you how many people I've seen do that. And not only are they not happy in their business, but it's not soul alignment. Soul alignment has to be there, but also strategy on knowing what is the marketable niche for you Doesn't mean that you put in weight loss. It means that you start to feed that into the message because you realize, wow, this is what everyone's coming to me for, which is why I did weight loss. But I realized I had a different signature approach for that. And that is why people would always say to me, working with you is so awesome because you don't have this standard way of looking at it. So remember, you are special. It's your view on the world. It's how you process the information out there and dissect and demystify. It doesn't have to be complicated. And the more that you're confident about that and how your freebies, remember, checklist, PDF, video series, webinar, workshop, a live, a blog, an interview, a podcast, a summit, how all these opportunities to educate, to build awareness really truly bring you into what? Discovery sessions, conversions. People going, oh my God, I have to join your membership. I have to get more of you. Oh my God, are you doing something? When's it happening? That's when you know you've hit the sweet spot. Don't quit before that happens. Do the hard work. I know many of you feel that you've dedicated a lot of time, money to school. You did. Fortunately, now this is the real school. And I would say that most often, and I've taken Marie Forleo, I've taken B School 7 years into this business. I've, worked with some amazing coaches, more one-on-one, because I wanted what they had. I wanted to be able to show up real, authentic, not needing perfection, letting go of imposter syndrome, letting go of this fear that I had to be a certain way instead of just being me. And when I learned that was when things shifted in my business. It wasn't any one perfect thing because the truth is there's not. Just like my diet and how I live, and that worked for me. And that took time for me to learn. And that's what I taught people, how to find that, how to tap into that, how to let go of this dogmatic way of approaching life. And there's not a one size fits all. And that is really the game changer for most people because they're so sick of what? A one size fits all. It doesn't work for everyone. If you do have a one size fits all approach, make your ideal client understand why. It's in the why of it, why you develop this, that you really step into your truth. And that's why not only do you step into your truth, you step into a place of comfort to show up and share. Another amazing podcast that you have to listen to is Hillary Weiss, Shanti Zach, all, of course, copywriters. They're all talking about how to communicate your message, how to be different, how to stand out in a world of noise, how to dissect things differently from other people, how to stop, let go of the fucking overwhelm, guys, in business, and think more about changing lives, more about your ideal client, more about how they want to be talked to, nurtured, understood, seen. Yep, as you see, I'm passionate about this. I'm passionate about people understanding how empowered they are, because how simple things can be in a world of complication, in a world of people like me who overcomplicate, overthink. Doesn't have to be that way, especially at the foundational level. Let's go back to when we stopped counting likes and all this different stuff and compared ourselves to everyone who has a team and a beautiful website, and just let go. And also let go of maybe things that are not really working. Find the medium that really works for you. For me, it's videos. And that only came because I put myself on a video challenge because I was scared of speaking in public. This is the work. People will find you when you're really clear with conviction, with clarity on how you approach health, how you work with people, and how you meet people at different phases of commitment, in addition to the phases of their different problems and issues. If you're looking for content, go to yourhealthcoachbiz.com. If you want to check out what I do at my low happy home, it's rachelafeldman.com. And that's where my podcasts live. And there's some really great content in there, guys. Great teaching, understanding. Reed Davis was our last interview. And he really talks about how do you build a business when you didn't have a Debbie Downer story. And I hear many of you, in that place, own it. The world's not going to change if we don't help it change. And that is what list building is all about. We will, after I see everyone doing this, I better see pictures. You want to do it on a whiteboard? You want to do it under there? After I see everyone doing this and we're clear, we will move on to the next topic. But we got to drill down on this area so that we can what? Let me see if I have it here. It's the other notebook. Yep, I have it here. So we can start to build out our entire, see? Pictures. Pictures always also take you out of that overthinking and help you to be creative. So all these freebies, where are they leading? What are they doing? Here's the whole entire customer life cycle. We can't get to tripwires and upsells and downsells unless we cover the basics. All right. Peace. Love. I'll see you later. And you can do it. All right, guys. Thank you. Hasta luego. Peace out.